Good morning and welcome to the 2025-26 school year. I'm Superintendent Dan Goldman and I want to begin today with a story. It's springtime in a quiet Beaverton neighborhood. Upstairs, a mother and her two daughters are getting ready for bed. They're in the children's bathroom finishing baths and brushing teeth. Dad is working, so as usual, Mama is running the bedtime show. Her older daughter disappears down the hall and begins reading, so Mama turns her attention to her younger daughter, a 4-year-old named Nuria. She gently pulls Nuria's favorite nightgown over her head. It's the one with Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck printed on the front. Then she helps her put on her bright blue glasses. Mama lifts Nuria from her adapted chair and carries her into the bedroom. She places her carefully on the bed that they've been sharing so she can reposition her during the night. She gathers Nuria's beloved mouse and monkey and purple bunny stuffies and arranges them around her. Nuria wobbles slightly and then steadies herself against a pillow. It's time to read. Mama walks into Nuria's room to grab a book, Slinky Malinky, the current favorite. As she scans the shelf, she hears a sharp inhale and then a loud call. "Mommy, come here." Mom freezes, eyes wide. "What did you say?" she laughs. Stunned, Nuria beams. "Mommy, come here," she says again, proud and just a little mischievous. Mama gasps. "Oh my God, say it again." She scoops Nuria into a hug, grabs her phone and hits record. She sends the clip to her husband and to her mom. She knows everybody is going to be overjoyed. After nearly 5 years, her daughter just said mommy for the very first time. Friends, this is a true story. A mother, after nearly 5 years, heard her child call her mommy. Nuria is one of our students. Her voice, her joy, this family's moment. This is why we're here today. We are educators, we are difference makers, and sometimes when we're lucky, we get to witness these firsts. We show up together for another school year so that more families can have moments like this, because we believe in kids, in their potential, in their right to learn and to grow, and in their right to a free and meaningful public education. We show up again and again because we know and believe that every child deserves to reach important milestones like Nuria's, and every family deserves to have stories just like hers. But let's be honest, I think we all understand the complexity of preparing for this school year. Ongoing federal policy shifts, overt attacks on the full range of social services that are critical to the working class, and sweeping budget changes, many of which are still under legal challenge, can make the transition to this school year feel anything but seamless or promising. It's no surprise that many educators, families, and students are feeling uncertain, even anxious, about what might lie ahead as we prepare for the first day of school. I have plenty of those questions myself. But all summer, I've been meeting with educators from across our region, and I keep returning to a simple, steady message. There has never been a more important time to show up with care, with joy, and with conviction for every single child we serve. Never. To me, public schools remain the most powerful catalyst for opportunity and advancement in our country. In times of such uncertainty, it's even more important that we stand up to fear and recommit to one another and to our communities, that every child will feel safe, accepted, and capable in our schools. That's not only our charge, it's our privilege. At Northwest Regional, we know that many of the students we serve face more significant and often more severe barriers to learning. If ever there was a time to deepen our resolve and stand firmly in our values, that time is now. As public institutions, science, and neighborly love are under attack, now is the time for us to double down on our values of equity, student success, partnership, and innovative service. Now is the time to stand for justice. Our shared vision to ensure that every student is educated, equipped, and inspired to achieve their full potential and enrich their communities has never been more important. Friends, we are living in an attention economy, and the more outrageous, the more disgusting, the more angry, the more alarming the headline, the more clicks it gets on the internet. It doesn't matter if you like the headline or post, or you hate it, or if it's true or false, they just want you to click on it, stay engaged with it, and keep that phone in your hand. The more clicks, the higher the profits. The higher the profits, the more outrageous the headlines, and the more people click. It's a vicious, vicious cycle. Think about the public education headlines you often see within this culture. The headlines that get the most clicks, the most engagement, and stick around the longest. They're often the worst moments in a school's entire history of existence. It's that school's darkest hour. And as soon as the outrage dissipates and the clicks die down, it's off to the next headline, highlighting the very worst moment in another school's lifetime. Click, click, click. This morning, I want to share some headlines that aren't outrageous. They're not disgusting, and they're actually quite mundane in that they happen regularly, and we'll notice them readily if we only choose to look for joy and humanity. Stories of inspiring achievements abound here at Northwest Regional ESD. They truly happen all the time, and across every single program we run. Take a moment. Look around the room you're in right now at your colleagues. Make eye contact with each other. I would bet the person you're looking at was part of a breakthrough with a student last year, or they helped complete an incredibly important project for a small rural school district that just would never be able to achieve it on their own. Or they inspired other educators to try new things that made a difference for kids who need our very best. Or they intervened with a family in crisis. Or they elevated the voices in a community often marginalized. Or they supported a large professional learning event in a challenging space that led to new important practices. And the list goes on and on. Go ahead. Look around your rooms. You know what I'm saying is true. What you're seeing and feeling in your space right now is happening across the teams in over 100 distinct services that we provide at Northwest Regional. At this very moment, in dozens of our spaces across our 4-county region, your colleagues are looking into the eyes of someone who accomplishes the incredible on behalf of others. We have amazing people doing amazing things, impacting so many children and so many communities. Just think about that. It would take me all day to read the Northwest Regional ESD headlines, but here's just a few. Did you know that a 10-year-old in Vernonia who could barely read as an 8-year-old is now reading and writing fictional stories? After years of frustration and feeling like a failure, this youngster's academic career and life trajectory is forever changed. How? The district is receiving strategic leadership and coaching support from our incredibly talented literacy team. They're implementing new science-based reading practices and explicit instruction routines. Last year, 3rd grade literacy rates in that district jumped by more than 10 percentage points. How about that for a headline you never saw on Instagram? Did you know a parent whose son receives early childhood special education services shared that staff at the Beaverton Early Childhood Center were the first ones to truly support them? After being expelled from 4 private preschool programs in 18 months, she said her child is now loved outside their home for the very first time. She says our special education teachers are the real heroes in their family's story and her son's newfound success. You didn't see that one on TikTok? No? Me neither. Did you know that attendance at Seaside High School is a major challenge? The media is quick to remind us that attendance is a big problem, and it really is. Well, Kaylee and Hillary are 2 high schoolers from Seaside, and their teachers work with Northwest Regional ESD's 9th grade success team. They invited freshmen to participate in a series of story circles, essentially a safe place to share their stories and listen to others. And attendance spiked at the school. Simply sharing and being heard influenced how often kids came to school. Kaylee and Hillary made a real difference at their school through the expert work of our Northwest Regional colleagues in the Instructional Services Department. I've yet to read about Kaylee and Hillary in the Oregonian or elsewhere. Did you know that students in Gaston, Cloverdale, Warrenton, Clatskanie, Forest Grove, and across our entire region now have lightning-fast, reliable internet in their schools? Did you know that this achievement, running a redundant fiber network across multiple mountain ranges and dozens of school systems, was thought too lofty a goal only a few years ago? Not at Northwest Regional ESD. Our tech team shot for the moon, and now they're reaching the stars. And how about Cam, a student from Pointer Middle School in Hillsborough who believes in the power of educators? He signed up to share his story at our Cascade Alliance for Equity Summit so that teachers could learn about how to make schools safer and more enjoyable for Black students like him. This brave young man was supported by our Equity and Family Partnership team. Cam says, change is possible when people listen. And how about a student from Pacific Academy in Beaverton who graduated last year after experiencing a life-altering mental health crisis? This student spent weeks of their senior year doing classwork from their hospital room. They said they were shocked that they made it all the way through graduation. The student's mom shared that her biggest regret was that her child didn't attend our school sooner. They both shared that Pacific Academy staff and culture saved their life. I didn't see that story on Facebook, did you? When funding cuts meant we could no longer pay for preschoolers with disabilities to attend a community's preschool, Annika, a mom from Hillsborough, advocated at the state level for more funding. She says her son really started to open up in that program and then did something that brought her to tears. He started to say, "I love you, Mom," for the first time. How's that for a headline? Through our advocacy efforts at Northwest Regional, Annika was able to attest at the legislature about the importance of EIECSE, and the program escaped further funding reductions, an outlier as other publicly funded programs experienced major cuts. Did you hear about the junior at Jewel High School named Cheyenne? She hated school and hardly ever attended. Jewel began working with our BASIS team at Northwest Regional, which stands for Behavior, Attendance, and Social Emotional Systems. Through the support of the BASIS team, Jewel teachers connected with her family, started asking deeper questions, and then made system-wide changes to improve her rural school's culture and climate. Now Cheyenne rarely misses a day and is thriving. She joined the volleyball team. She volunteers with the fire department and takes dual credit classes. Cheyenne wants to be a nurse. And these changes didn't only impact her. Jewel's attendance jumped 25 percentage points last year after receiving ongoing professional learning and coaching from our team. I met a dad from Astoria who told legislators last February that the Clatsop Early Learning Team was there for his family when no one else was. After being nonverbal for 2 years, his son is now speaking. He's attending preschool with neighborhood peers, and he's flourishing after receiving services from our specialists. Dad was one of 75 parents and educators who joined me with lawmakers in Salem to share why early learning funding matters. So how's that for a dose of the real Northwest Regional ESD headlines? For the real work of public educators and the real impact public education makes on kids and families and communities. And you all know I can go on and on. There are literally hundreds of stories to tell about the amazing work that happens every day here at Northwest Regional ESD. Together, we are beacons of hope in dark times. So as we move ever closer to the start of school, for the nearly 100,000 children we serve across our 4 counties and countless early learning environments within 20 school districts and their almost 200 K-12 schools, I hope you'll carry a light of hope within yourself. Share this hope with your colleagues and share it often. Share it with the families you work with. Share it often. Share it with your neighbors and share it often. And let it brighten every space where there's a young person. I know together this year we'll create more headlines filled with joy and success for our students. Everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful year.